Thank you so much for coming back. This class will be a little bit more on the intermediate advanced side. So we're gonna play around with some fun arm balances, do some handstand hops, things like that. I'll get you prepped and warmed up for those things so that when they do come up, you should be ready for them. But please make sure you modify, listen to your body. Don't do anything that you are not ready for. So please be safe. It is always a great idea to have a couple blocks for your practice, especially for things that if the floor feels far away for your hands sometimes, have a couple blocks. Otherwise, all you really need is your mat and you're good to go. You ready? Let's do it. So we're gonna start off in table. We're gonna give our wrists a little love and prep them for all the stuff we'll be doing on them today. Now turn your fingers to face the sides of the mat and just take your hands wide. So they might be as wide as mat or a little bit wider, and just shift your weight in all different directions. Now I want you to leave the hands where they are and find a nice long spine. So I want you to notice if you're collapsing through the core, the chest, all those things. Wrap the core in towards the midline to support the spine, crown of the head reaching forwards, and just moving through your shoulder blades, drop the chest down towards the ground so you're bringing the shoulder blades towards one another and the arms are still straight. Now protract, so spread the shoulder blades apart without the chin coming in. And then retract, drop the chest down, shoulder blades towards one another. And then protract, spread the shoulder blades apart. So you'll move through a couple more rounds like that. Giving the shoulder blades a little love. Next time you protract, stay there. So keeping that protraction, just shift your weight over to the right side. Try not to bend that right elbow. And now drop the chest towards the ground. Keeping that retraction, you're gonna lean over to the left. Protract as you circle over to the right. So drop the chest down, go over to the left. Protract, circle to the right. So you're gonna do a couple more. And you can do this in a full plank if you'd like. Just make sure you're not collapsing through the low back. One more round. And then come into neutral. And we'll go the other way. So go protract, go to the left. Retract as you shift over to the right. Protract, circle to the left. And keep going. One more round. And then come into center. Bring your hands back onto the mat, but spin your fingers around so your fingers face towards your knees, thumbs face the side of the mat. If this is super intense, bring your knees close to the hands and put a little bend in the elbows. Otherwise, maybe even take your knees a little further back and just shift the weight forwards and backwards. And then next time that you lean back, lift the heel of the hand up. The thumbs will come up, but I want you to actively press the other four fingers down. Come onto your fingertips. And then come off the hands, give your hands a good shake. Come back into your table, but this time I want you to find a little bit more of a leaning table. So your knees are gonna be back a little bit. Shoulders are tracking over top of the wrists. Wrap the core inward center, engage to the glutes and the inner thighs. Now I want you to lift the heel of the hands up. So the thumbs are gonna come up, but those four fingers are pressing down, and then lower the hands down. So you might have to do this one at a time. Just make sure you're switching whichever one goes up first, or you're doing it both at the same time and you're gonna keep going. Ooh, ooh. Hi, wrists and forearms. How we doing? Couple more. And you can always do this in plank if you really want to give her today. And then one more. Ooh. Tuck the toes under, sit on the heels, and as you sit on the heels, give the arms a good shake. Now, with the toes tucked under, this might be a lot for the feet. So you can either slide a block in between the feet, so it takes a little pressure off, or you can come off the heels and just be on your knees. But either way, try to have the toes tucked under, reach down for your pinky toe and get that one involved too. And then reach both arms up. Cactus with the arms, so bend the elbows, fingers face up. Bring the shoulder blades a little closer together without pushing the ribs forwards. And then protract as we bring the forearms and the pinky fingers to touch without getting your head and neck involved. And then open up. And then close the gate off. So you're just going to move through a couple more like that. Next time you open up, reach both arms up towards the ceiling, right hand for the left wrist. Reach your left arm up, lean over to the right. And come back to center, left hand, right wrist, reach your right arm up, lean over to the left. And then come back to center. Give the arms a good shake. Come onto the hands, untuck the toes, tap the feet out. All right, so press the tops of the feet on the floor, lift yourself off the hands, and then from here, engage the glutes. I want you to envision like you have a block in between your thighs. You're hugging into that imaginary block. Now, take your arms over top of the chest. Cross them like you're holding a weight on the chest. All right, ready? Actively press the tops of the feet on the floor, and you're gonna hinge back and try to stay in one straight line as your glutes come towards the heels, and then pull yourself back up. Ooh! And then go back again. And then pull yourself back up. Fun, 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 fun. Let's do it again. Hinge back. And then pull yourself up. 2 more. And then back up. Yikes. Last one. And then come up. Okay. On your hands. That felt great today. Tuck the toes under, hips up and back. Pedal out the legs. And then lifting the heels up, bend the knees. You're gonna walk forwards to come to the top of the mat. So have the feet about hip distance apart or wider. Knees stay bent. Just let the head hang. Relax with the jaw, around the ears, shoulders. And then keep the knees bent. You're gonna slowly roll yourself up to stand. And as you come to the top, just shake it out through the arms, shake it out through the legs. And then bring the feet about hip distance apart, hands come together in prayer. Reach the arms up as you take an inhale. Hinge from the hips, fold as you exhale. Fingertips of the shins lift up halfway. Set the hands down, step back into plank. With the knees up or down, bend the elbows with control. You're gonna lower all the way down to the floor. Untuck the toes, tops of feet press on the mat. Walk the hands back just a little bit. So as the elbows wrap in towards the midline, bring your chest forwards and up and feel like you're pulling your hands to your feet. And then lower back down. 2 more like that. Bring the chest forwards and up, pull the hands to the feet. And then lower. 1 more. Lift up, baby cobra. And then lower down. Tuck the toes under. Press yourself to table or full plank. And make your way into downward dog. Bring your big toes to touch. Heels lift without the shoulders coming forward. So think a long spine, hips go back. Right leg up towards the ceiling. Bending both knees. So right heel comes in towards the glute and rotate your hips towards the right. Keep lifting that right knee up. So make sure you're not pushing the ribs forwards. Can you pull the ribs in a bit more? Lift that right knee to the ceiling. Keep your bottom knee bent but square off the hips. So straighten that right leg, toes face the ground. Cross that right knee underneath you. So right knee to the left arm, shoulders over top of the wrist, and really protract through the shoulder blades. Take your leg over to the left side for a falling triangle. Drop your back heel to the floor for support. Use the glutes to lift the hips to the ceiling and reach that left arm up. Now this is one of my favorites here. Take your left hand behind the back of the head. Elbow's gonna come to the front of the mat as you start to lift your hips and your chest to the ceiling. Ooh. And then left hand down, turn on the ball of your back foot. 3-legged dog, right leg up towards the ceiling. Now right knee to the right arm, shoulders come forwards. Get the knee high up on the arm and add a little bend to the elbows. Maybe come into a full push-up and then press yourself back up, 3-legged dog. Right toes face the ground, so try not to open up your hips here. Bend your left knee and just look forwards in between the hands. Now before you go further, I just want you to find a little buoyancy in that left leg. So a little bounce, a little bounce. This might be a little hop or a big hop. But you're gonna try to hop your left foot forwards. The goal is to try to get that foot in between the hands. So ready? Let's do it. Hop your left foot forwards, and then you're gonna hop it back to where you started. So again, it might be a little hop or a big hop. Do it again, hop forwards, and then hop it back. One more time, you're gonna hop it forwards, step your right foot back, adjust your feet, set your back knee on the floor. Low lunge. Untuck the back toe, press the tops of the feet on the floor. Reach your arms forwards and up, lift out of the hips. Interlace the hands behind the back of the head. Wrap the elbows into the midline. Reach the crown of the head up, and then let the head fall into the hands as the elbows tilt up. Hands come to the floor. Shift your hips back for a half split, so flex the left foot. And then walk the hands forwards, bend in the front leg, chest lifts. Half split, hips go back. One more time, bend in the front leg. Half split, hips go back, stay here. Now you're gonna walk your hands back a bit. So if the floor is far away, use your blocks. Your hands or blocks are gonna frame around where your left knee is. Plug that left thigh into the hip socket, draw the left toes back to the face, and now I want you to try to lift your left leg up. So the heel might be barely off the floor, maybe you can get it quite high. Protract the shoulder blades, get that left leg up a little bit higher, and then set the foot down. Yay! Walk your hands forwards, bend in the front leg. Quad stretch, bring your back heel in. You're gonna reach back with your left hand. If that does not work, prop yourself up a little bit higher and reach back with the right hand. Maybe you reach back with both hands, whatever feels good today. One more breath here. Hands come down and frame that left foot. Tuck the right toes under, pick up your back knee. Stay high on the ball of your back foot. Lift the hips up and back and fold into your left leg. Now bend back in your front leg and just scoot your left foot back a little bit. Now push off your right leg and bring your right heel in towards your glute. Your left hand will reach back for your right foot. Take that right knee up towards the ceiling. Push your foot in the hand so the heel will move away from the glute. Your hips will open a little bit to the right. You might start to straighten that back or bottom leg. And then as you let go of that right foot, take a big step back. You're gonna land in warrior two. So finding that warrior two, making sure you're not hanging out in that front hip. I like to envision like my hip bones are level to one another. I like to feel like I'm pulling my heels in towards one another as I bend a little bit more in that front leg and relax through the shoulders. Reverse, your left arm's gonna reach up and over, coming back through center. Just take that left forearm to the left thigh. Reach that right arm up and over the head, so hover that right bicep above the ear. Keep pulling the heels in towards one another. Draw the ribs in, lengthen through the sides. And then bring yourself back into warrior two. Straighten the front leg. You might have to make your stance a little bit shorter. Reverse, left arm up and over. And bring yourself back to center. Trikonasana, triangle pose. You're gonna take that left hand just to hover above the shin, right arm reaching up towards the ceiling. So I want you to notice first if you're pushing back and locking into that left knee. Can you activate through the entire leg, support the shape, and then activating a little bit more through the obliques. We're gonna do tiny little pulses here. So lift an inch and then lower an inch. So you're gonna keep going there. For 3, 2, 1, pull yourself all the way up. Turn and face the right side. Feet come parallel to the short ends of the mat, hands on the hips. Inhale to lengthen the spine. And then exhale, fold forwards into the legs. So the hands will make their way down. Just make sure you're not pushing all the way back. Lift up to the inner thighs. Coming onto your fingertips. Turn your left foot out slightly. Spin the right toes up towards the ceiling. Bend into the left leg and find Skandasana. So the hips might be pretty high. Some of you might be able to lower down, but make sure that left knee's not collapsing in. You're going to pivot to face the front. So your hands are going to frame your left foot, turn on the ball of your back foot, and step back in a downward dog. Come forwards in a plank. Come down onto your right forearm, followed by your left forearm. So in that forearm plank, can you find that same work that you did in your regular plank? Spread the shoulder blades apart without pushing the hips up towards the ceiling. Try not to hold your breath. And then staying on your forearms, just set the knees down, untuck the toes, sphinx, chest comes forwards and up. And then lower, hands to the floor beside the lower rib cage, tuck the toes under. Press yourself up, table or plank, downward dog. Big toes come to touch. Heels lifted, hips go back, left leg to the ceiling. Bend both knees, left heel comes in towards the glute. Rotate your hips towards that left, send that left knee up. Keep that bottom knee bent, square off the hips, straighten that left leg. Left knee comes underneath you towards your right arm, shoulders come forwards, get the knee high up, take a breath there. Then send the leg out to the right side. Falling triangle, back heel to the floor. Lift the hips up towards the ceiling, right arm up, lift the gaze. Right hand comes behind the back of the head. Elbow to the front of the mat, hips and chest lift. Right hand comes down, turn on the ball of your back foot. Three-legged dog, left leg up. Left knee, left arm, shoulders forwards. You can stay where you are. You can add a little bend in the elbows, maybe do a full push-up. Press up. Three-legged dog. Look forwards in between your hands. Lift up high in the ball of our right foot, bend the right knee, and just find a little bounce with that right leg before you do anything else. So using that bounce to add a spring, it might be a little baby spring, maybe you do a big hop, hop the right foot forwards, and then hop the right foot back. Again, hop the right foot forwards, hop it back. One more time, hop it forwards. Step back with your left leg, adjust your feet as you need. Left knee comes to the floor. Low lunge, both arms sweep forwards and up. Interlace the hands behind the back of the head, elbows wrap in. Crown of the head reaches up, and then lean back to the hands. Hands come to the floor, half split. Hips go back, draw the right toes to your face. Walk the hands forwards, bend in the front leg, chest lifts. Half split, hips go back. One more time, bend in the front leg. Half split, stay here. That right leg does not need to be fully straight. You can bend it. Make it feel good for your hamstrings so you're not just pulling on the back. Walk the hands back a little bit so they're framing around where your right knee is. Ready? Protract through the shoulder blades. Lift that right leg up as high as you can go. You're here for 3, for 2. Set the foot down, walk your hands forwards, bend in the front leg. Everyone's favorite quad stretch. Bring your left heel in. Reaching back with either hand for the foot. And without slingshotting. Anyways, let it go gently. Hands come to the floor. Tuck your right toes under, pick up your back knee. Hips go up and back. Stay high in the ball of that left foot. Fold into your front leg. Bend in the front leg. Walk your right foot back. So your right foot should be kind of in the middle of your mat. Then as you walk your hands forwards, push off your back foot and bring your left heel to your glute. Right hand will start to reach back for the foot. Lift that left knee up towards the ceiling. Push your foot in the hand. Heel move away from the glute. And you might start to straighten the bottom leg. And let that foot go. We're going to land in Warrior 2. Take a moment, set it up. How does Warrior 2 feel on this side compared to the first side? Reach that right arm up and over. So try not to take all the weight into that left leg. And then Warrior 2. Take that right forearm to the rest on the right thigh. Your left arm's just hovering above the ear. Reach that left hand away from the left foot. But root down through the outer edge of your left foot. Warrior two. Straighten the front leg, make your stance smaller if you need. Reverse it, right arm reaches up and over. And come back. Trikonasana trial pose. So as you shift the pelvis back, right hand's gonna hover above the shin, left arm's reaching up. And then little tiny pulses without pushing everything forwards and getting bendy. 3, 2, 1, pause. And then come up to stand, turn to face the left side. Hands on the hips, feet parallel to the short ends, lengthen the spine, and then fold forwards into the legs. Nice opportunity to close the eyes. Come onto your fingertips. Skandasana, turn your right foot out slightly. Left toe spin a face up. Bend in the right leg and then lower the hips down. So, making sure you're paying attention to that right foot, you're not rolling in the arch. Pivot to face the front, turn the ball of the back foot, and then step back, downward dog. Come forwards in a plank. Take your left forearm down, followed by the right. Feel like you're pulling your elbows this time towards your feet. Untuck the toes, tops of feet press on the floor, come on your knees. Chest forwards and up. And then lower down. Hands beside the lower rib cage, tuck the toes under, table or plank. Downward dog. Take a breath in. Clear it out. Looking forwards, lift the heels. Bend the knees, make your way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, fold down. Coming to stand, arms sweep up. Hands together, heart prayer. Arms reach up. Fold forwards. Halfway lift. Hands to the floor, step back into plank. Chaturanga, then your back bend of choice. Baby cobra or upper dog if that's in your practice and feels good today. And we'll meet in downward dog. Now you're gonna lift your right leg up towards the ceiling, toes face down. Come forwards, bring your knee to your nose. Step your right foot down beside your right thumb. High lunge, reach both arms up. Hands now come to the floor. Leave your hands where they are, but walk your right foot back. So again, that right foot is more towards the middle of the mat. Left leg goes up towards the ceiling. Ground the hands, look in between your thumbs. Lift up high in the ball of your right foot. So find that protraction through your shoulder blades. Lean into the hands and don't hop just yet. Just try to get the hips up a little bit higher and then step back into plank. Chaturanga, baby cobra or up dog, and then meeting in downward dog. Left leg up towards the ceiling. Come forwards, knee to nose. Step down beside your left thumb. High lunge, arms reach up. Hands to the floor. Leave the hands. Walk your left foot back. You want to be able to ground those hands, so keep that left knee as much as you need for that. Right leg up towards the ceiling. Lift up high in the ball of that left foot. Straighten the arms, protract through the shoulder blades, and just lean and transfer weight into the hands. Step back into plank. Your flow. Come down onto your knees and just swing your legs around and come down onto your backs. Bring both knees in. No, we're not done. Rock a little side to side. Sorry. Not sorry. Take your legs up towards the ceiling. Now, I want you to think of that work of drawing the ribs in, wrapping the core into center. Be heavy through the pelvis and reach your arms up towards the ceiling. So the palm of the hand's gonna face one another, and then reach your arms back now so your thumbs are gonna hover above the floor. If that is way too intense, then you can keep the arms where we were beforehand, just reaching the arms up to the ceiling. Otherwise, the arm's gonna reach back, thumbs hover. So as the arms come back, I want you to notice if you are pushing the ribs up to the ceiling, draw the ribs in. And then I want you to lower the right heel to a hover and see if you can bring that left leg a little closer to you. And then we're going to switch. So right leg up, left heel hovers. You're going to continue switching on your own. Just finding a pace that works good for you today. So it might be slow, might be a little bit quicker. Keep going. Are you guys swearing at me internally yet? I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of swearing at myself for doing this today. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more, and then bring the knees into your chest. Set the feet down on the mat, hip distance apart, hands on the floor, framing the hips. So as you push the feet down, use the glutes to lift the hips up for hip extension. Walk the shoulder blades underneath you. If available, interlace the hands. Press the arms into the floor, but make sure you don't just lose the work in the glutes and the hamstrings. And then release the hands, slowly roll down the back. Bring both knees in towards your chest. Rock and roll a few times up and down the back. Then come all the way up, make your way under your hands and knees and table. So just move through a couple cat-cows. You can change the hands if you'd like here. And before we go into that second round, if you want to grab a quick sip of water, grab it here. And I want you to keep in mind that I'm going to invite you to go into some of those more quote-unquote advanced postures, but just make sure that you do what feels good for you. So you can stay in the variation that we did at the beginning. There's no need to go into the places that you're not ready for. Cool, 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 cool. Let's do it. Make your way into downward dog. You're gonna walk your hands back to your feet. Walk your feet mat distance apart, feet turn out a little bit, bend the knees, come into Malasana squat. So actively press the knees open without forcing that with the arms. Broaden through the chest. And just take that right arm in front of the right leg. And then reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. So notice if you're rolling into that left foot or if that left knee is collapsing in, actively press that knee open, left arm to the ceiling. You can stay in this variation. You can wrap that left arm behind the back for a half bind. Maybe you have a full bind and the right arm wraps around in front of the shin. And then reset, hands back into prayer. Now left arm in front of the left leg, right arm up, and going into that variation that you chose on the first side. And then come back to center, hands together in prayer. Activate through the glutes, lift the hips up about an inch or two, press the knees open a little bit more, come all the way up to stand. And then lower back down to that same spot. Come all the way up, and then lower down. Last one, come up to stand. Lower down, set the hands to the floor, lift the hips up, bring the feet parallel. Walk your hands forwards, come into downward dog. Big toes touch. Right leg goes up towards the ceiling. Bend that top knee, heel comes in. You can bend that bottom as well. Rotate the hips towards the right, lift that knee up. Come down onto your left forearm. Come onto your right fingertips. And then press your fingertips down as you lift that right knee higher towards the ceiling. Make your way back onto your hands, square off the hips, three-legged dog. Take that right arm or right knee underneath you towards the left arm, and then falling triangle, leg to the left side. Back heel down, reach that left arm up. Left hand behind the back of the head, elbow to the front, hips and chest lift. And left hand down, turn the ball of your back foot, three-legged dog, right leg to the ceiling. Right knee towards the right arm, shoulders forward. So you can stay here, you can hold that push-up, or you're gonna bend the elbows, you're gonna lean forwards, you're gonna fly by lifting that back leg up towards the ceiling. And then three-legged dog, right leg up. Woo! Come forwards, knee to nose, and step down in between the hands. Back knee to the floor, low lunge, both arms come forwards and up. Hands behind the back of the head, elbows wrap in, crown of the head reaches, and then just lean back. Hands come to the floor, half split. We're staying here. Keep drawing the toes to the face. Walk your hands back a little bit more. Protract through the shoulder blades and then lift that right leg up as high as you can go. You're holding for 3, for 2. Set the foot down, bend in the front leg, quad stretch, left heel comes in, reaching back with one or both hands. Gently let go of that left leg, hands to the floor, tuck the left toes under, pick up that back knee. Lift the hips up and back, stay high in the ball of your left foot, option to flex your right foot this time. And then set your right foot down, bend in the front leg just slightly, so that you can now scoot that right foot back. Walk your hands forwards, left leg goes high up towards the ceiling. So setting it up, spread the shoulder blades apart. Lift up high in the ball of that right foot. You're gonna lean to the hands, and that is a lot of work. You can stay right there. Maybe you try a couple little like baby handstand split hops, or you go a little bit higher. Maybe you catch some air in those split hops. I'll give you a few breaths to play around with it. And then one more, and then we'll take a step back and we will land. Woo! We'll land in warrior 2. Lost my balance there for a sec. Reverse, right arm up and over. And then come back into warrior 2. Extended side angle. So the right forearm can rest on the thigh. You can set the hand down. There's lots of variations for this one. So find the one that feels good for you. Maybe you want that half bind or full bind. Bring yourself up, warrior 2. And then straighten your front leg. Reverse, right arm up and over. Come back to center. Make your stance a little bit smaller. Trikonasana triangle, right hand hovers, reach that left arm up. We're not gonna pulse. We're just gonna stay here. We're gonna find that recruitment of our muscles to support ourselves. And then come all the way up to stand. Turn your toes, face the left side. You're gonna interlace the hands behind the back. If you're having a hard time gripping the hands, use a towel, strap, anything like that. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, and then you're gonna fold forwards in the legs. Reach your arms up and over. Gently bring the hands down to the floor. Come onto your fingertips, lengthen the spine. Skandasana to the right side. So turn the right toes out, bend in the right leg, left toes turn and face up. You can stay where you are, or like you did in Malasana, take that right arm in front of the leg, reach towards the front of the mat. Left arm to the ceiling, chest up. You can stay there. You can have that half bind or full bind. Hands come down, spin to face the front, and then step back in a downward dog. We are almost done on the side. Come down onto your forearms. As you come on your forearms, you're going to interlace your hands. Bend your knees as much as you need here and lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So this might be a lot. Then stay here in this dolphin variation. Otherwise, maybe you walk your feet a little closer towards the elbows, hips still lifted. Take your gaze slightly forwards and actively press the palm of the hands together. Lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Again, stay where you are, or you're going to lean forwards a little bit more. And maybe you float that left foot off the ground. 2 more breaths. Set your feet down, walk your feet back, forearm plank, and then lower the knees, tops the feet on the floor, ground the hands, sphinx, chest comes forwards and up. And then lower. Take a moment in child's pose. Settle into that shape. Close the eyes, come back to your breath. Check in with what's going on with you internally. Letting go of judgment. Take a breath in. Empty out. Ready? Last side. Downward dog. Walk your hands to your feet. Mat distance apart, walk your feet out, turn your feet out, Malasana squat, lower down, hands together in prayer. Take that right arm in front of the right leg, left arm up, whatever variation you choose here. Come back to center, and then switch. Left arm in front of the left leg, right arm up. And hands together in prayer. Lift the hips just a little bit, actively press the knees open. Come all the way up to stand, and then lower back down. 2 more, come up to stand, and then lower. Last one, come all the way up. Lower down, set the hands to the floor, hips come up, feet parallel. Walk your hands forwards. All right, here we go. Bring your big toes to touch. Heels lift, send the hips back, left leg to the ceiling. Bend that top knee, rotate your hips to the left. Come down onto the right forearm. Come onto your left fingertips. Press the fingertips down, keep lifting that left knee up. Make your way back onto the hands, square off the hips, three-legged dog. Take your left knee underneath you towards your right arm, shoulders forwards. Falling triangle, take your leg out to the right side, back heel down for support. Right arm up to the ceiling, lift the hips and the chest up. Right hand behind the back of the head, elbow to the front. Right hand down, three-legged dog, left leg up. Left knee to the left arm, shoulders forwards. Hold there, hold a push-up or lean forwards a little bit more and fly. Left leg to the ceiling. Whew. Come forwards, bring your knee to your nose and step your foot down in between the hands. Back knee to the floor, low lunge, reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Hands come behind the back of the head, elbows in, lift the crown of the head up, and then lean back into the hands. Hands come to the floor. Half split, hips go back, flex the left foot. Walk your hands back. Protract through the shoulder blades, lift that left leg as high as it can go. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Set the leg down, walk your hands forwards, bend on the front leg. Quad stretch, bring that back heel in, reach back with either hand for the foot. And then let go of that foot. Hands come down to frame your left foot. Tuck the right toes under, pick up that back knee. Hips go up and back. Stay high in the ball of that right foot, then try to flex that left foot. And then bend into your front leg. Now walk your left foot about halfway down the mat, ground the hands, look in between the thumbs. Right leg goes up towards the ceiling. Set up the shoulders, lift up high in the ball of that left foot, lean forwards. Stay hold there. Maybe you try a couple little baby hops. Maybe you try a couple bigger hops. Yep, 2 more breaths. And then we'll meet in warrior 2. Reverse, left arm up and over. Come back in warrior 2. Extended side angle, whatever arm variation you had chosen on that first side. Just make sure you're not hanging out anywhere. Find that activation through the base and the legs. And then warrior 2. Reverse, straighten that front leg, left arm up and over. Come back into center. Make your stance a little smaller. Trikonasana, triangle, left hand hovers, right arm reaches up. And then come back up to stand. Turn to face the right side, feet parallel. Interlace the hands behind the back. Weird grip. So opposite thumb on top, but keep the palm of the hands together. Roll the shoulders back. And try to move your hands away from the glutes. Bend your knees, fold forwards, take the arms up and over. Gently release the hands down to the ground. Let's finish this off. Come on your fingertips, lengthen the spine. Skandasana into your left leg. So turn your left toes out, right toe spin and face up, lower the hips. And then again, left arm in front of the left leg, reach to the front, right arm to the ceiling, staying there, adding in any kind of bind you did on the first side. Hands come down, pivot to face the front, and then step back into downward dog. Lower down onto your forearms, interlace the hands, press the palm of the hands together. Keep lifting the hips up. You might bring those feet a little bit closer. Maybe it's your left leg going up. Look forward, stay there. We're gonna lean forwards and float that right foot off the ground. If you are up, set your feet down, walk your feet back, forearm plank. And then lower to the floor. Ah! How'd that feel, you guys? I am sweating. Ground the hands, chest forwards and up. Now I want you to take your right arm underneath you and then bend your left elbow and rest your head onto your left forearm. If this is way too intense, then open up a little bit more to the left. Or you can do the same arm in child's pose. Close down the eyes. Take that right arm out from underneath you when you're going to switch sides. So left arm underneath. Rest your head onto your right forearm. And you're just going to flip over onto your backs. So as you come onto your backs, happy baby, send the soles of the feet to the ceiling. Hands grab hold of the outer edges of the feet as you rock side to side. Set your left foot down to the ground and come in a figure four. So right foot on top of the left thigh. Open that right knee out to the side. And then bring that left leg in towards you as you interlace the hands behind your left hamstring or around the shin just below the knee. Set your left foot down on the ground. Now keep the shape of the legs. I just want you to walk your left foot to the right side and then lower your knees to the left. Your left hand's going to reach down for your right foot and just try to bring that heel a little closer towards your left hip. You can stay exactly where you are, or you can take your left hand to the inside of the leg and start to guide that right knee forwards like it's moving away from your torso. Your right arm's just going to reach out to the right side. Bring yourself back to center. Figure four on the other side. So left foot on top of the right thigh. Bring that right knee in. Set your right foot down and then walk your right foot over the left side of the mat, and then your knees are going to follow to the right. Just reach down for that foot. Bring your foot a little closer to the right hip. Left arm out to the left side. And bring yourself back to center. Both knees coming towards your chest. Lift your chest towards your thighs. And then let it go. So legs long out in front of you. Back of the hands rest on the floor, palms up. And just notice how your body feels after that physical practice we just had. Tune into your breath. I highly encourage you to stay here for as long as you can today. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and always be humble, be kind. Thank you, and namaste.